Well, good morning everybody, Chuck here with No Time to Be Sad. In today's video I want to talk to you guys basically about what I've learned in Thailand and what I've learned being retired here. I've been retired now for 11 years. I've lived in Thailand for 9 years. I want to give you my brutal, honest opinion about life here in Thailand. And yeah, I think it's time. Good morning. Well, I want to talk to you about a few things that I've learned in Thailand. Mostly people, Westerners, Thai people, myself. I want to talk to you guys about the culture, not really about the government. I don't want to talk about the government, not just because, it's like, oh, we can't talk about the government. It's just that it's really none of my business, and I don't know the intricacies of the system enough to really talk about it. But I will talk about some things that are frustrating to me as a foreigner. As you guys know, I'm American. I come from, a different generation, probably around the same age as most of you guys that are watching, maybe a little younger. I'm 57. I retired when I was 46 years old. I didn't always, but I knew a long time ago that I wanted to not really spend the rest of my life doing stuff for other people. I wanted to make good money and try to figure out a way to be independent enough to where I can retire. YouTube wasn't in the equation. I never planned on being a YouTuber. The money and the funds that I had put together to make this happen didn't have anything to do with YouTube. Just in case you were wondering, you probably weren't. I just thought I'd throw that out there. I was born in Miami, Florida, but I was raised in Texas most of my life. In Texas, we speak our mind. We kind of just throw things out there before we really think about it. Not everybody. Let me just start this also by saying these are only my opinions from my experience. This isn't like the way it is. Oh, I've been here, I get this a lot. I've been here 20 years and let me tell you how it is, But that's just from their perspective, maybe in their village life or whatever. We all have a different perspective because we come from, different backgrounds. We've chosen different paths. So I just want to say everything I'm saying is just from my experience living over here in 9 years. But I was raised in Texas most of my life, so we just kind of say things as we see it. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know. I've noticed this in Australian people too, not all of them. I know some very sensitive ones too. But I noticed this with Australian people. They're kind of similar, like they say what's on their mind, and if you reply back to them, like a rebuttal, or you explain your stance on it, they listen and they don't get irritated. They don't call you, oh, you're so sensitive because you don't listen to me, or you have a different opinion than me, and you kind of can go back and forth. So I get along really well with Australian people. I'm not saying I don't get along with anybody else, but I'm just saying as far as from where I come from, we kind of think the same in a generalization. So I retired in America and we traveled the United States, learned a lot in the United States from traveling around the country before we came here. And you guys know my plan. I've already talked about it many a times. I don't want to really get into that, but I just want to give you a little bit of background of where I come from and how I think, I'm really kind of a loner. I don't really, I'm not antisocial. Like, I like people. I like to have conversations with people. I like to learn. I like to listen. Like, I'm a good listener because I like to learn from other people, whether it's good or bad. I like to listen, and then you kind of know who you're talking, who you're dealing with if you're a good listener. I've had quite a few friends that's been a problem, is listening. Like, I'm there for you, but you're not there. You're not there for me or anybody else. I think that's a rare thing to have these days, is to be a considerate listener. But I like people in general. I just don't feel the need that I need to hang out with them. Like I'm really good with myself. Like I can take off here and go play golf by myself, or chat with a caddy, you know, stuff like that. But I went to school to learn how to speak Thai, and the reason why I did that is because I really wanted to understand where I live. I wanted to understand my environment. I wanted to understand how they think. I wanted to understand everything. Did it happen? No, it didn't. And I blame YouTube for it because I'm so involved in everyday life sharing and communicating with other foreigners that it's kind of confused me a little bit, going back and forth from Thai to English. So I can have a decent conversation. The problem is if I'm speaking English and I go to speak Thai, it comes out like Neanderthalic. You know? When I'm around it all day and I'm thinking in Thai and speaking in Thai, I can do pretty good. I learned how to read Thai because my hearing is bad, so I needed to understand how to say I'm not Thai, so my accent's not perfect, and Thai people all around Thailand have different accents too. So, but I tried to mimic the word as best as possible, and the only way I could do that is to learn how to read and understand the vowels and the sound of the vowels and the tones and stuff like that. Am I perfect? No. I can read pretty good Thai. The standard stuff that like you see on the side of the road, I can read all of that. You know, gung sot, you know, there's fresh shrimp, khao man gai, khao gang, all the food stuff. You know, I understand like the shop name. What are they like? They sell metal. This place washes cars. Is it important? I think so. I think it's important to try to learn to at least understand language. The problem is if you don't understand all of it, you get kind of confused and you think, and I do, and I do this a lot too. Like I don't understand 100% and I get kind of wandered off in the conversation and thinking they said one thing. And another problem I have is my hearing is bad. So when it's a tonal language and sometimes I get lost a little bit, and some of the words in the context bring me back to the context of what we're talking about. So I think it's important to try to be involved in your surroundings. You know, I mean, if you were American and your neighbor was Honduras, you would want your Honduras neighbor to be able to speak. In Thailand, Thai people, they're not really like that. Like in the 9 years that I've been here, I've never had anybody say, why don't you speak Thai? Because I think they just automatically assume you don't, which I think is a good thing, because their assumptions of you are pretty stereotypical, but not really super negative, you know. They think we have a lot of money. They think we don't eat spicy. They know we can't speak Thai. They know we're Christian. You know, there's just a wide things. We have endless money coming in and we want young Thai girls. And we all come from Pattaya or Bangkok, which is, you know, you can't blame them for that, because I think that's what happens most of the time. And their limited experience with foreigners. A lot of Thai people don't even travel out of their province, and they only see the stuff on the news, you know, and the news is always the bad stuff. But they don't really have a lot of hostilities. I know some people will argue with me about that, and I think in Thailand, and I think in general, you get back what you give. So if you're a hard person, the people are going to treat you hard back. If you're kind and generous, maybe not everybody's kind and generous, but they're going to respect you for that, and you're going to get back what you give. So I've had quite a few conversations with bitter people here that claim that, you know, in their village or their province or whatever, Thai people are racist. What does that mean? You know, I mean, they're proud of their country, they're proud of their people, they're proud of their heritage. They probably will stick to their kind before they would go out. And I think that's common with every culture, right? We got to take care of our own first. But I don't feel like they're racist, like in a derogatory, in a bad way. I've lived in Hawaii, and a lot of Hawaiians are very proud of their culture, and they have a hostility against whitey. You know, we did take a lot of stuff from them, and there's a lot of places in America that are like that too. and I can't really relate to anywhere else in the world because I've never lived long term in anywhere but the United States. I've been to just about all the Americans, in Canada, Central, South, Mexico. I've been in the Caribbeans, but I never really got a chance to travel outside of that except when I was in the military. And that was my first experience of traveling overseas. That's probably what put the bug in me, is to travel. But I find Thai people very forgiving. They don't expect a lot out of me. They don't expect me to eat their spicy food, to enjoy their food. They just want you to be happy. They want you to be respectful. There's a thing called losing face, which is kind of like disrespecting somebody. They don't want to be on the other end of that. And I don't think anybody really does either. I find Thai people very generous and giving. And I think a lot of that comes to is they don't have a lot of needs. Not everybody. I don't want to keep saying that throughout the video, so I hope you get what I'm saying. I know like places like Bangkok or Phuket, Thai people are struggling. Out in a small village, you want to say they're struggling because they're broke. I know a lot of farmers that live very frugal, that have millions of baht, but they don't run around thinking, showing everybody how much money they have, But I'm getting a little bit off track, so I'm trying to wind back down. Let me get some coffee. But I think Thai people, their needs, like they're not super materialistic. They don't require too much. So I think with that mentality, their expectations are not as high as ours, in my opinion. I've learned a lot from YouTube. I've learned probably more than I would if I didn't YouTube. We still planned on traveling everywhere in Thailand. That was a given. That was the reason why we came here. I didn't come here to settle in. I came here to travel the world. I didn't come here to buy a house and live in a house and watch YouTube and worry about what everybody else is doing. I came here to experience a new life. That was my only goal. If I wanted to continue to make money or live in a nice house and have a bunch of things, I would have just stayed in America. I was doing fine in America. But I took a gamble because I wanted to try to change the direction of my life. It wasn't bad, but I wanted to do something new. So I gave up all of my materialistic things. I never really was super materialistic. I had a lot of money, but I drove a Camry and a Ford, and not a Ford, but a Toyota Tundra. I had a nice bass boat though. And a modest little home, but that's what we chose to have. But I've learned a lot from foreigners because of YouTube. And in America, we have a melting pot of people, but it seems like we all have similar goals. Like I know the American dream is a similar dream that everybody has everywhere. I'll make sure my microphone is plugged in. But you never really learn too much about their culture, I think, because we're just so busy with our everyday life and our career and our family, our goals, but being over here, I learned a lot about people. And the first thing I learned was their sense of humor. I didn't really learn it at first. Like the British people have a strange sense of humor. Almost like, dude, if you were in Texas and you called me the C word, you'd be eating out of a straw for probably 5 months. And just some of the quirky things that Australians would say. And it was a learning experience. And when I was making videos and they would comment to me, and my personality on my videos have always been kind of the same. I just say what I want and I joke around. I'm a little sarcastic. And when they try to be sarcastic to me, I didn't get it sometimes. And we'd go back and forth and I'd be like, okay, this is stupid. So I learned a lot, not just from the comment section, but I have met a tremendous amount of people. and they have shared their knowledge with me and their experiences. And a lot of the stuff I talk about on my channel isn't just from my little village life here and I see stuff that I read on blog sites or I talk to. This is like real life stuff that people explain to me, and I don't put it. I'm not the type of person where I like to do a lot of interviews with people. I just like to listen and absorb it. I don't want to have the moment consumed with camera shots and sound and what are we going to say next type stuff. I really enjoy talking to people and learning from people, like I said before. But, people, like, let's just say, for example, friends or so-called friends. And this isn't just Thailand. This is in life in general. A lot of our friends are because of necessity. Like we work together. We have the same goals, the same hobbies. We have the same kind of mindset. And if that goes away, like we just stopped our hobby or moved to a different job, those people fade away. Maybe occasionally see them on Facebook. Now we have social media so people can keep, I still see what people are doing from my high school days. I don't really talk to them because I don't have anything to talk about, but I see what they're doing because of social media. And without that, we learn a lot. Without that, I don't think we'd be like back in the rotary phone days, which was kind of a good thing. But I don't think we were really as smart as we are today back then. And I don't really think it really mattered. But we have a lot of knowledge out there, easily accessible. But the knowledge still is somebody's opinion. And when somebody tries to tell you the facts, it's not true. I don't want to hear it. The fact is 1 + 1 is 2. We're all going to die. And, that's basically it. Your facts are from your experience. And that's annoying when I hear that. Let me tell you the facts about Thailand. I've been here 20 years. And blah, 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 blah. But hey, we all got to do what we got to do to make us feel good. We're over here. We're not working. We're retired. And we're not climbing the ladder anymore. And some people like the pristine of accomplishments, so they've been here so long, or they've done this, or they've done that, and I get it. For me, I really don't care what anybody thinks about me. That's why I'm able to do the YouTube videos and share everyday life, because I don't really care, and it doesn't really matter to me what anybody thinks, and it shouldn't matter to you either. And not everybody has to like you, not everybody has to like me, and the real life is just not the way it is. But friends come and go, people come and go in your life, and I've had some friends here that we shared the same interest. Some of them had different goals than me. Some of them only, like if you're a great fisherman and you're winning a lot of bass tournaments, people want to hang out with you. They want to be your friend, And if they start winning their own tournaments and become successful, they don't really want to hang out because you're spoiling their spotlight. You know what I mean? So people just come and go in your life, and some people here, you're away from the normalities of your life, so you're trying to cling on to maybe people that can speak your language, have the same mindset, and you think that they're your friend, but they're here for different reasons. And they're not really your friend. It's very rare that you would find actually a friend, outside of family or people you've grown up with, But anyway, not to drag down, but I learned a lot about people, and I learned a lot about foreigners, different cultures, different ways of thinking. And I'm happy for that. And I enjoy talking to all kinds of people. And when I meet somebody that says, "Oh, I watch your channel, I'm from Tokyo," it's like, oh, wow, that is cool, We've met people from all over the globe, not all over, that I don't know if they can watch it in North Korea. I've met some Koreans or Russian. I've met Russians, but I don't think they watch my channel. Anyway, when I meet Thai people and they ask oh, are you making a video? Yeah, I'm a YouTuber. They instantly subscribe. they may not watch the videos, but they subscribe. So one time I had the whole school, we promote a school every year for Christmas, and we kind of sponsor them throughout the year for different things, field trips, just all kinds of things. And at one time, the principal told everybody to get out their phone and subscribe to my channel. Like, okay, they're not going to watch the dead. Maybe they do. About politics, I don't really know anything about it. You know, people have their opinions. A lot of them are negative. Actually, that's not true. The only ones you really see on the internet are negative, because nobody cares about somebody that says, oh, everything is perfect. I love this. I love you. Roses are red. You know, nobody gives a crap about that person. They only want to hear when somebody falls down and then gets taken advantage of, you know. So I don't know much about the government. People like to say, well, there's a coup all the time and the courts are doing this. And, you know, I think it's good to have a system where if people are cheating the system, you have something to counteract that. There's always going to be corruption no matter what, no matter where you live. But I suggest to do what I do and just keep it minimal, keep it to yourself. You don't need to worry about the government. No matter what they do, it really doesn't affect you unless it's immigration stuff. Immigration stuff is difficult to keep up with. You can go to immigration websites, but a lot of the stuff that the new stuff that they put on there is in Thai. There are a lot of things that translate into English, but some of the stuff that they talk about in the meetings and stuff that they share is in Thai. So you have to have that translated. And then when you translate it, sometimes it doesn't make sense. And it says something that's not really accurate. And then people will put it out there as if this was like chiseled on the side of the mountain in Thailand. Like this is going to happen. That's so annoying to me when it comes to work permits, taxes, TM30s, there's all kinds of stuff. Like if somebody mentions it in the press, everybody runs with it. You know, like an official has said this, but they didn't vote on it. It takes more than just one person thinking about it. And it's annoying. But not just that, we get kind of a generic description from the point of view of somebody. And then it just becomes, you know, distraught. So it's annoying when I live. For me, I always tell people, time will tell. You know, if you think this is what's going to happen, just wait it out. Most likely, it's not even going to affect you here. It doesn't really affect me here. And nobody's using common sense anymore. Like, okay, so let's say here's an example. Like, people have actually sent my immigration letters for many of things. I mean, I don't know what. As a problem is when you put yourself on YouTube, maybe they don't like my personality. Maybe they're just bored. Maybe they come to Thailand, they built their 4 walls, they have nothing to do but try to irritate people. Buy a PlayStation. Just play like Call of Duty with a bunch of 13-year-olds, you know, or something. But an example like, okay, what was I doing one time? Somebody turned me in for working on my vehicle and washing my vehicle. Like I'm serious. I wish I would have had the letter that they sent me. I took a picture of it, but I don't remember what the hell I did with it. If I find it, I'll paste it here. So it said that I'm taken away from a lot of people by, you know, if I'm changing my oil, washing my vehicle, pressure washing the sidewalks, stuff like that. Okay, but here's the thing, that's fine. Maybe you can make a case of that. You think anybody from immigration is going to come to the house and go, hey Chuck, by the way, we got this notification here that you were doing this and we want to talk to you about it. Were you doing this? No. Okay, have a great day. Go away, you know? Or, okay, yes, I was. Okay, well, really by law, you're not supposed to do that, and just try not to do it again in the future. Okay, have a nice day. That's not going to happen, because if you're not causing a problem, the way it works mostly, from my opinion, you can do pretty much everything in Thailand as long as you're not causing a problem. I know people that have businesses that are foreigners and they're only here on a marriage or even a retirement. I do know quite a few people on a retirement visa that are flipping burgers in a market. They're making hamburgers and selling them. Everybody loves them. They're foreign. Oh, they're so cool. We got this. They're not causing a problem, you know. There was one here in our town that was selling skewers of meat and stuff and whatever. And the police here in the local town would buy it from him every day. But he got some other Thai person irritated, and it just kind of went down from there. And he ended up having to stop. But he moved anyway. He was kind of a bitter person. So I've learned in Thailand that if you mind your own business and you don't cause any problems for anybody, life can be easy here. Where I come from, I feel like people have so much expectations of my everyday functions in life. Like I'm supposed to look like this, speak like this, talk like this, work like this. You know, I don't, that's just how I feel because of where I come from and the industry that I work for. You know, and I don't have that feeling anymore here. Maybe because I just let it go, you know, and I don't realize it. But I feel like Thai people here don't expect anything. And the only problems I ever have here are with foreigners. So I've never, not that I can remember, it wouldn't be significant, I ever had a problem with a Thai person. Oh, okay, I remember one. I was riding my bicycle in Mukdahan. And I rode with a, I don't want to drag this on, but just a little bit. I used to ride with a Thai bicycle group. I was the only foreigner that always put me in front. Look at the token foreigner, but they were happy to have me around, and they enjoyed talking to me. And I learned a lot from them, talking with them. None of them spoke any English though, little bit, you know, but they're usually pretty shy about trying to speak, to stutter out a few words, you know. So there was this place called Sanctawan. It's a Thai bar, like a disco. And the hotel I stayed at, there was always kids fighting out in the street 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I'm never going to go in there. There's no reason for me to go in there. It's too loud anyway. I don't like that. So yeah, he convinced me, one of the guys convinced me to go in there with a group of other guys. I said, okay, fine. We went in there. And of course, we had a little bit too much to drink. It was getting late. I told everybody bye. They were all just kind of in their own world having fun. I just kind of really snuck out. I said bye. And as I was leaving, a waitress was coming by, and I went to dodge her, and I bumped into these they had these little stupid rickety tables on like a little one stand with a flat bottom. And two Thai guys, I hit the table and I look over, there's two Thai guys and all of their drinks fall on the table and spill. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. And then one of them is like pissed. He's mad. Maybe it got on him, but I'm saying, I'm sorry, this and that. And then next thing I know, I got 3 Thai guys around me and the 2 guys here, and my friends are over there. It's a busy place. Here the waitress is there too, and she's trying to calm everything down, say, I'm sorry. So one of another waitress come by and handed me a bottle of Sangsom and gave it to me, and I like, here, I'm sorry. And everything went fine. I had to do a couple shots with them. I bought them the whiskey. It was like 350 baht for the bottle. And it was no problem. It could have got out of hand if I was a different kind of person, you know. At one point in my life I was, but I'm not anymore. I ain't as good as I once was, type thing. So I bought the whiskey, and it just was a miracle that this even worked out like that. And I had a couple of people that worked there that didn't want any problems, and they knew how to handle it. I gotta go. Never again. I really kind of stopped going to Mukdahan anyway. But anyway, that was a long story. But that was really the only problem I had, and that wasn't really a big deal. Could have been. But I've had a couple of instances more than I'd like with foreigners, similar to that. It's just like they want to, like, okay, so you don't like my thinking or my channel or what? Just don't watch it. Who cares? There's a lot of things I don't like on the internet either. I wouldn't say I don't like, I have no interest in it. Or other vloggers, the way they vlog, good for them. That's what they want to talk about. That's what they want to do. That's what they think. Then I don't watch it, so it never pops up on my deal. I don't care, you know. Good for them. But I don't know. People are weird. But I've learned that the only problems I've ever had is mostly with other foreigners. And I think, you know, my advice is to just try to just mind your own business and enjoy your life. Thailand's a beautiful place. The food is good. It's very inexpensive here. The people are kind and generous. You don't need to be worried about that. But I think people, they come here, and this is another, my thought process is, and I've mentioned this a few times, and it's only because I've talked to quite a few people. So this is what I get out of the conversation. You know, they're married, they have a couple of kids, they're married to a Thai woman, they have a couple of kids, they have a house, and they just feel like somebody owes them something. Like they get a little frustrated about the local politics or the noise or this or that, and, you know, people are stupid and this, you know, but they don't speak any Thai. So how do they even know what anybody's saying or thinking? And, you know, they just think everybody's stupid. Very few people, but there are some out there. Again, those are the only ones that really complain, because most of the other, most of the people I've met from my channel are wonderful people, have a great, successful life here, very happy, or they come back and forth, you know, throughout the year. I don't like the police situation. Now, I know a few police. There's friends of the family that are police, retired police, some really high-ranking police. One of them was trained cadets for his whole career. You know, I've talked to police in general, one-on-one, and they're pretty friendly. The system I don't like, and you know, I don't like the fact that it seems like all they do is they check with these checkpoints, checking, you know, they're checking for speeding, whether it's somebody with a radar or they got cameras. It used to be they just, oh, you were going fast, you know, and they just give you a ticket before all the radar stuff. The first couple years I lived here, it was like that. But now there's some checks and balances. But it seems like they're only concerned about collecting a fee for a penalty, whether it's speeding, license, drunk driving, cargo, permits, registration sticker, tax sticker, safety, all those things. But on the other hand, like the guy with the government plates can just fly right through the damn checkpoint, you know? I know that happens in every country too, but it's irritating to me. And you know, there's a lot of people here that are not safe drivers. It seems like a lot of them, they're in their own world. You got kids driving 150 kilometers per hour with flip-flops and shorts down a freeway, dodging traffic, you know? Or the exhaust system is so damn loud, or smoking and polluting everywhere. You know, it's a double-edged sword, because if they had the ability to just randomly pull over people for doing stuff, maybe the corruption could get worse. And I've heard that in the past they've tried that and that it did happen, but that's just what I heard, that's hearsay. You guys can share your experiences down below if you've listened this far in the description box. But I'm okay with immigration. What I've learned about immigration, and well, I guess you could say police or government or pretty much anything in general, money talks. And my immigration really doesn't openly accept like money to try to get things done quick, but it can get done. They have a mindset of VIP service, and it's not like bribery or extortion. It's more like I'm going to put myself in front of everybody by paying money, and it's like a VIP service. Whether it's through immigration, getting out of trouble in Thailand. There's a lot of people with money that have done a lot of bad things, of course, everywhere in the world. But in Thailand, if you got a lot of money, you can make a lot of things happen. So I've learned that in Thailand, that you can get a lot of things done quicker, and sometimes it's expected with some money. And we're not talking a lot of money. Like 2,000 baht is a pretty good VIP, like for just everyday stuff, you know. But what is that, like 60 US dollars? You know, it's not really much. Or you can just wait it out, you know. The driving here in Thailand is a mess. I don't think a lot of Westerners drive in Thailand. I mean, most of the people that come here just travel on holiday, but you guys get a sense of the driving here. It's horrible. Like, in Bangkok, it's okay. It's a different kind of horrible. Like, they have pretty good depth perception, I think, when they learn how to drive in Bangkok. They have to, or they'll get in an accident. They drive really close, really fast, really aggressive. But it's okay. As long as you can go with the flow, like a flock of birds, the driving's actually okay in Bangkok. I've never really had a problem in Bangkok. You just have to be aware of what's going on and know your place. Depending on your vehicle, a lot of things, you got to know your place in the chaos. I've been driving a lot in Thailand, like almost 300,000 kilometers I've driven in Thailand. And we've traveled to most all provinces. Isan is the worst. I know I talk about this a lot. I think a lot of their experience is just from motorbike. A lot of the problem is they didn't have the proper, I think it's different now the way that they teach people to drive, but back then they didn't really have the proper training. You know, nobody likes to say you failed, you know, I guess, or you did something wrong. But I think a lot of their experience is on a motorbike. And if they're in front of you, they feel like it's their road. Like they don't care what's behind you. If you get around them, then it becomes different. But you know, the motorbikes on the side is a big problem because they don't really follow any rules at all, and they can come over at you anytime. And if you bump into one and it comes off and they die, or even in an accident, it's your fault. So it's a bad situation in Thailand about the driving. And I just wish that the police could do something a little bit better to try, other than words, because I've noticed that they say we're going to do this or we're going to do that, but they don't really, I don't think they had a really good solid plan to initiate the rule, you know. They don't, I don't know. Maybe it's a whole losing face culture with people trying to tell people this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do, this is how you need to do it. If you do it wrong, then you get reprimanded, this and that, you know, it's I don't know. I haven't figured that part out, and I just kind of go with the flow. I expect the worst when I'm driving. I don't expect people to follow the rules. I don't expect people to stay in their lane. I kind of got an idea what's going to happen when I see something, and I'm used to it now. So, but it's frustrating a lot of times, and then you don't ever know what they're even driving. They can be driving some homemade tiller with a wooden box on it, you know, driving down the road going like no kilometer per hour with no lights at nighttime, you know. Don't drive at night for sure. The light system the roads have gotten a lot better in Thailand, and the lights, they've installed a lot more lighting, but people, you know, they drive intoxicated, and there's been a lot of cases of hit and runs here. Like, you know, for me, one bad thing about Thai people is they don't like to admit that they're wrong. it's always like something else's fault. That's just what I've noticed when it comes to a lot of things, whether it's getting your order wrong, you know, at the restaurant, or a traffic violation, or their dog pooping in your yard, or, you know, whatever. It just seems like a lot of instances is just like a lack of integrity. Whatever. That's just my opinion. So those are just some of the things that I've learned about Thailand. I love it here. I've learned to not stay directly in the sun because the sun is brutal. It's very hot, but I've adapted to it. Most people, you won't, like if you want to go swimming at 12 o'clock in the afternoon is the best time because there's not a fool in the pool. But Thai people don't directly stay out in the sunlight. It's just too hot. And I know they don't want to get dark. You know, they got this stigma of, you know, looking like a rice farmer is not attractive, you know. But, you know, I've learned to adapt here. I consider this place my home. I'm very respectful to everybody. There are a few things I don't like, and that's some of the, I think those are just about it, and that's what I've shared with you today. Most problems I've had in Thailand is with other foreigners. If I didn't do the YouTube, I wouldn't have the problem. I would just smile and be somewhere in a distance. I wouldn't probably have too many friends, to be honest with you. I do enjoy playing golf with people, you know, so I don't know how it would work out if I didn't have the YouTube channel. There's a lot of people here in my province that don't really, you know, they're here also because they don't want to be around a lot of foreigners. Well, some of them, a handful of them have reached out to me, and I've kind of isolated myself because I'm too busy all the time, and they just kind of stopped coming around. Which I don't blame them, you know. But maybe I'm not good friend material anymore. I don't know. I'm not a selfish person. I think I spend most of my time giving. I've been called all kinds of things, like crazy stuff from other people. But most of my time is giving to my family, taking them on trips, giving stuff to the locals, the kids, taking care of my mom, supporting businesses. Sharing Thailand every single day to people that may never get to come here. During COVID, we spent a lot of time showing Thailand. People couldn't get here. So, you know, I'm not a narcissist or, you know, whatever, but if that's what people feel, then it doesn't really matter to me. That's just what it's just weird how people think sometimes. Well, they can be so ugly to people when really they should just be minding their own business and learning the beautiful things that life has to offer, you know. And I don't know, I think people that are so worried about they're just not happy in their life. Maybe they're here for, well, I'm sure they're here for a different situation. Their budget doesn't allow them to live in their own country, and their language doesn't help them with trying to speak a Thai tonal language. You know, they have some difficulties, maybe some handicaps that keep them from having a better life in Thailand or really anywhere on the planet. So anyway, that's about it. I don't want to drag this video on for like an hour. There's a few other things, you know, I could talk about, but I seem to... What I do know is nothing lasts forever, not even YouTube. YouTube, you could wake up one morning and everything be gone. I assume that's going to happen one day. Yeah, nothing lasts forever. But I don't plan on going anywhere. I hope to stay here for as long as I possibly can. You know, they could have a government change, an immigration policy change, some hostilities about Westerner. Anything can happen in a country where you weren't really born in, and you're subjected to, you know, being a foreigner, being somebody who is not from this country. And it could make it not comfortable or inconvenient for you to be here, and anything could happen. So What I'm saying is try not to live a life over here so permanent to think that this is your last destination on the planet. You got here from wherever you came from, so obviously you've moved around. But just try to be happy, be respectful to other foreigners, mainly because we all come from a different part of the planet. We think differently. Our culture trains us to think different. We have to because of our environment. I wish people could be more respectful of that. I try to understand that, you know, British people think a lot different than me. It's okay. I enjoy the difference. Nobody on the planet thinks exactly like you. Nobody on the planet thinks like me or agrees with everything I say. That is just, it's not possible. Even with my wife, Paige, we disagree on a lot of things, but it's okay. That's normal. We don't have to agree, but be more respectful, I think. It makes life easier in Thailand, and just enjoy the affordability, the beautiful people, the culture. Go see a temple. Go sponsor a local school. Learn how to speak some Thai language. Do something other than something that's negative, you know. I try to be positive as much as I possibly can, and I try to learn every day. If I wake up one day and say, I've been here so long, I know everything, then I have failed. Like, I don't really care what people think about me or think I know. It's just because we don't really know. Everything changes, and you learn a lot from other people, different cultures. You're like, oh, okay, well, I understand now. I saw it from my own point of view where I come from. Now you showed it for me. Now, you know, now I'm either confused or it makes sense. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening to me. I hope you got something out of today's video. If you have something you'd like to share, you know, you can be negative about stuff in the comment section. You know, you can share your opinion, and you can not agree with me or whatever. You can share that as well, but just don't be ugly about it. You know, there's no need to try to figure out a way to draw attention to yourself about it. But I'm not in the mood for that. You know, a lot of people say that they have a right to disagree or a right to their opinion, but I mean, I also have the right to disagree or not care about your opinion. I have a right to not have you being ugly, you know, in my world too. So we all have our rights, but I suggest the people that are really negative just create your own YouTube channel and see how many people agree with you as well. So be friendly, be kind. We'll see you guys tomorrow on the next video. Bye.